What is up, my fellow Chibits? Today, I'm here to bring all of you another anime review on Boku no Hero Academia. It's Boku no Hero Day. A new episode is out, and I gotta say, right now, I am once again pleased, so pleased with this episode of Academia. I want to let you all know, anime onlys, briefly, I'm just going to clarify something. Once again, another week, another episode of Boku no Hero, adapted panel by panel. Beautiful work. Beautiful work by Studio Bones. Well done. The production team, I wish I could give you a hug right now for the amazing job you are doing on this series. All the staff, all the production team, everybody that's worked on Boku no Hero Academia, I thank you. I really do. I don't know if any of them will ever watch this video, but in my heart, I'm just saying thank you. And I think all of us big fans of Boku no Hero Academia are very happy to see how much love is being put into this series. Because, oh my god, when it comes to the foreshadowing being put into the series for future stuff that won't even be in this season, to other things that's going on when it comes to certain select scenes that are even better than the manga counterparts. I mean, just this episode... Okay, so, I'm just gonna say, one thing that stood out to me, and I started the episode, and there's this line, I gotta read. Now, don't worry, it's not spoilers, because it's said in this episode, so I guess I can talk about it. So, All Might, he starts talking about, like, some form of torch, and it's symbolism, and I remember making this discussion when I got to this point in the manga, so I want to say the exact same things I kind of said when I got to this point in the manga, but a little bit more in depth. So, All Might is looking at Izuku as if he's a little torch. He's a torch that just got lit, and its fire is very small. But one day, it will kind of weather a lot of hardships to where it will have a lot of wind, rain, and just a lot of darkness. But one day, that fire will grow, expand, and become something powerful, and shine on its own. And All Might is looking at Izuku like that. And All Might is the man with the blazing torch that's a huge-ass fire, and he's passing it on to Izuku, for his torch can become as strong as All Might's. In a way, you can look at this as if All Might was like, I'm giving all my quirk to you, or giving my quirk to you, I'm passing on my legacy. And that's kind of what he's doing. I'm passing the torch of my hero quirk power to you. And that's what it kind of looks like. But there's another way to interpret this, and I think some of you might have already realized this. Let me read this line here. And then I will slowly become weak, and disappear, and I will finish my job. Now, he's talking about the fire, the torches. And what happens when a torch goes out? It's gone. Just embers and ashes remain. It's dead. Let me read this again for you. And then I will slowly become weak. The fire will become weak and disappear. And I will finish my job. For instance, completely giving over the mantle of the #1 hero to Izuku. Now, to put that in easier terms, it's in a way kind of giving us a death flag for All Might. Now, I think it's been very kind of straightforward with All Might's character since the beginning, since like the first couple of episodes, and I think a lot of anime onlys have been really looking into All Might's dialogue, most likely have already realized this, but now I can finally clarify since we got this dialogue. So, All Might, he's getting a lot of death flags, and we know he's not in the best shape at this time. I mean, he's been hurt in the past by a villain, he has a critical wound, and as we know, he can't perform his hero duties like he used to. He has a certain limit, and it's like his fire is slowly fading. This line pretty much kind of concretes that, and he's looking for a successor for his quirk before he dies. Izuku. And that's what's going on here. Pretty much All Might is saying he will die, and once he dies, he hopes that his torch will be completely passed on to the next person. Izuku. So there you go. This line pretty much foreshadows and hints at the potential of All Might dying. I'm not going to say anything else. I'm just saying death flag. That's exactly what this can be interpreted as. Now, next thing to move into, the next topic, is what's currently going on in the school, UA. So we get introduced to a variety of new characters, which I love all these characters. Ida, Tsuyu, Navel, Belly Button Boy, Bakugo. Even though some might not like Bakugo, I like Bakugo. I mean, Ochako. There's just so many good characters, and there's many good characters you have not yet to meet. But for one, I got to take note of freaking Ochako. Ochako in this episode was so adorable with Izuku. When she was there walking through the door, it's like, oh, you're the plane boy and all that. And you just see how Izuku is getting all embarrassed. It's like, getting all scared and stuff. That shit was fucking hilarious. I had a good time watching this episode when it came to that comedy of Ochako. But that wasn't the only critical point about this episode that made me laugh. Like, for instance, Great Boy. I'm not going to say exactly who this is, but Great Boy was in this episode. And I'm going to tell you right now, anime onlys, you're gonna love him. You're gonna love Great Boy. You're gonna fucking love Mr. Great Boy. Ida was the guy with the glasses in the hero exam. We get to see his quirk ability in this, episode. He actually has, like, an engine where he can run very fast. Like, he has really good speed, so he's one of those mobile fighters that can get to the, I guess, action rather quickly, because we get to see how he demonstrates this in this episode. So he's definitely someone that has the potential to be a very quick person that can get to, like, the task at hand rather fast. And then we have another character that was kind of shown in this episode. We have Navel Boy. Oh. Dude. That shit had me dying. I'm fucking dying at that part, dude. I was fucking dying at that part. When you see Navel Boy, he's fucking shooting the laser. He's like, he putting his hands behind his back. He's like, let me show you how it's done. And he fires his fucking laser out of his stomach and all that. And he's just flying backwards like a boss and all that. And then after he looks all badass and shit, like he's doing it backwards, he hits the fucking dirt. And then he gets back up and he does the shit again, man. Oh my god, that was great. That was fucking great. Just seeing that man, he gets all fucking built up and hyped and all. He's acting like a pretty boy, badass elite man. And he's just flying and he's like, I can only do it for 1 second. If I do it over 1 second, I get a stomach ache. And he does. Oh shit, that was great. That was definitely a great moment of this episode, besides all the Ochako stuff and all that. But that was a pretty fucking funny moment. And then Bakugo, Bakugo, he's pretty OP. He's already been shown to have a lot of great abilities when it comes to his quirk. I mean, with his explosion quirk, I mean, he was dominating the entirety of the test. Like, he was doing way too fucking good. Ochako getting an affinity with her throw toss, so showing that Ochako is best girl right there. I know some might disagree, but I personally am with Ochako. And on top of that, we also have it to where Izuku learns to kind of use his power a whole lot more than he did in the past. For instance, he's in a situation this episode to where if he's in last place, he will be expelled by his teacher, Aizawa. Which, I'm going to get into Aizawa's character in a moment, but let's talk about the test in general. So, if Izuku failed all the different parts of this little hero test, he would have been expelled, he would not have been able to continue going to the school, and all his effort would have been pretty much for nothing. Just GG. So, he's at this, standpoint where he has to think, okay, if I use my quirk, I destroy my fucking body. And we've already seen this in the last episode. And it's not just gonna disappear overnight. Like, it's not gonna be where he can become All Might in a day. It won't happen. That cannot happen. So, Izuku has to realize, how can I use my quirk, but how can I make it to where I can continuously use my quirk without being incapacitated? Because that's his biggest issue right now. When he uses his quirk, let's say if he was to punch something, his entire arm would be fucking destroyed. We saw what happened to him in the last episode. His legs broke and all that. They're flapping. And it was disgusting looking. And his arm too. So, I mean, you gotta imagine, this can't be happening every time he goes to go fight a villain or something, or do hero work. I mean, just imagine this, okay? Let's say there is about, oh, you know what? Let's just say 3. Just 3 villains, okay? 3 fucking villains. And Izuku was to punch the first villain. Punch him just square in the fucking face. So let's just say Izuku didn't kill him. He held back some, but, he punched this dude square in the face, KO'd, okay? He's got 2 other people. He just broke his fucking arm, maybe his legs because of the pressure. How the hell is he going to take out the other 2? If he incapacitates himself every time he uses his ability, that's a major flaw, a big weakness that could be, used against him when he goes into fights in the future of the series. So right now he's having to learn how can I use my quirk, but also overcome the incapacitation that can happen, where I can't even fucking move. Well, he uses some of his quick wits, his brain power, that's been shown constantly throughout these episodes, because we know Izuku's a very smart character. We even see in the opening song he has a bunch of notebooks and stuff, so Izuku's been pegged as a very intelligent character that can think, and he's not one of those brain dead that, fights and thinks later. He's actually pretty damn smart. So, because of this, he thinks while he's about to throw, he's like, I gotta go all in, but I want to just use my finger, break my finger, and use all my power in my finger at the last second, which is very smart on him, because even though it still hurt him, he minimized the damage. Instead of just breaking his entire arm and maybe his legs, he broke just his finger, and then that means he has at least 3 other shots. If he wants to use, his thumb, that's 4. So, that's just right there, but then he has his other hand, 5 other shots. So, right now, Izuku's limiter is his fucking bone-shattering, like, paper mache. Just think about that for a second. When's the last time you've ever seen a character happen to kind of hold back? Like, for instance, a character, their limiter is their body. For instance, if they continuously use their power, their body will shatter like glass. And that's what's going on with Izuku. If he uses his power, he shatters like glass. He's like a glass cannon. Best way to kind of summarize him. So he has like 10 shots. If he wants to use his thumbs, if he doesn't want to use his thumbs, that's 8. So he could just, do all sorts of stuff. Maybe if he wants to use his little toes and stuff, maybe he can have 20. So you get my point. So Izuku right now, he's at impasse. He can't just spam his ability. He has to think about how to use his ability and what points of his body does he want to use. And also, let's say if he was to go in fighting and he was to use his, thumb right off the bat, like let's just say he used his thumb first, that would fuck up a lot of shit when it comes to grabbing stuff. Maybe it would fuck it up to where you can't hold something properly. So when he breaks fingers, he also needs to think about which finger he's gonna break first. Think about that one. So yeah, this is a very dangerous issue that Izuku needs to overcome. How can he use his ability without completely destroying himself? And I'm going to tell you right now, anime onlys, be excited for things to come. You're going to be pretty fucking excited. I'm going to tell you right now. That's why I love this series. So yeah, Boku no Hero Academia, it's so far being a very wonderful series. And before I end this review, let's talk about Aizawa. So Aizawa, his character design to a lot of his, abilities, or his ability that was shown in this episode. I'm just going to quickly dive into many of the things that some might already be saying about his character. He does, when I first read this part of the manga, he does remind me of Kakashi. I'm not gonna cross out, but I'm gonna say right now, Boku no Hero Academia by no means becomes Naruto. I just want to throw that out there. But if there's any character that Aizawa reminds me of, it is Kakashi. Definitely. Especially when it comes to his, hard training program. And seeing how he starts off with a test like this, it's very hard, and how he acts, his personality is a little bit like Kakashi's, but not exactly. But I can see where many might already be talking about this. But when it comes to Boku no Hero Academia, I feel like that's a lot where the similarities kind of just end. That really just ends a lot of the similarities when it comes to the series. So besides that, however, the series pretty much takes its own standpoint with its characters and stuff. So yeah, Aizawa though, when it comes to his quirk ability, being able to stop people from using their quirk, he erases their quirk while he looks at them. Pretty damn powerful stuff. So yeah, Aizawa, ridiculous. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. How do you feel about this week's episode of Boku no Hero Academia? I love you all so much. Please be safe. Chibi out.